Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to be looking at the Gerber 600. And this is a really neat multi-tool. I have to say that one of my first multi-tools was the Gerber. I believe it was 400, and I think have a 600 as well. These are just really good multi-tools. I think they're really good multi-tools to start out with. I don't think they're the best, but they do hold, I guess, a sentimental value, so I probably overlook some of their faults. So the Gerber 600 is a fairly light multi-tool. It will come in a little bit lighter than the Wave. I believe it's around 8 ounces. So it's a fairly light multi-tool for what it is, and what I've been carrying it is actually in this Molle single mag pouch I found online. It was very cheap, $6, and then it does have this clips in place, and the 600 fits fairly nicely into that pouch. Alright, so you'll notice that one of the implements here is the saw. This is going to be a combination saw, wood, metal, and plastic, I believe. This is their rim grit saw, and that's what is in this holder. It has a little tab. You can take it in and out, and then you can put the older style saws in here. Now, these are not T-shank, but you'll have to go on like eBay or perhaps go to a hardware store that still has some of the older style saws. Now, I find I really don't use a saw hardly at all in my line of work. I've been carrying this multi-tool with me, and I actually just do not use the saw at all. Alright, so secondly, we notice we've got a pretty nice dimensional Phillips screwdriver. This one is a little bit small since I've been carrying the Leatherman 300. All these implements look a little small, but it does work. So I was using this, and it did a good job. It's got some good dimensions there to get some torque on, so it seems to do a good job. And then you'll notice also this has the combo knife edge. I was able to use this today, and I sort of use the tip as an awl. I know you're not really supposed to, but anyway, it did a good job as well. So all those implements I've used except the saw, and that's not something I use that much. Now the file, especially on the 600 here, I think this is a lot more important to have. I know people like the file for other reasons, but I actually find it useful since this does not have a large screwdriver. I use the end of the file for the screwdriver. I'm not sure if that's what's intended for, but it does seem to work fairly well in that capacity. And then the ever-present can opener, bottle opener, that is something I basically never use. And then we've got the micro screwdriver, which I find very, very nice for a lot of thermostat wires, small screws. When you're on the job, that is something really, really nice to have. And then I was fairly certain, again, I've been carrying the Leatherman 300 for several weeks now, and that's just my sort of the Super Tool is my go-to multi-tool. And so while I was carrying this, I was really missing some of the larger screwdrivers, but I was able to use this today to take off a furnace door, and even though it's really tiny, it did a really good job. I was pleasantly surprised how well such a small screwdriver works. So I definitely recommend that as well. I know some people have had issues with it breaking there because it's small, but so far it stood up fairly well. Alright, so then that brings us to the screwdriver, and we can do the ever-present paracord test, which determines how good these are, and it will cut. Not the best I've seen, not the worst I've seen. Actually, it does a lot better there. So these scissors do seem to work fairly well. Again, scissors is something I use sometimes, not all the time, so I actually use the screwdrivers a lot more. Alright, so then we come to the pliers themselves, and one of the things you'll notice is this does have the built-in crimper, and I love that design For a multi-tool, I like to actually use multi-tools. I do have one that I just carry it for every day, but a lot of these actually go to work with me. I test them out, see how they work, and so crimper is a really nice added touch so that you can actually use these. And then we come to the plier head, and these, I'm not sure if the camera is going to focus, but these are really, really nice. I got a piece of metal stuck in my finger just from working on metal air conditioners and so forth, and I was actually able to use these like a pair of tweezers, and wow, they worked really, really nice. I was just really impressed with those. So then you've got your wire cutters as well. I specifically liked this design that does not have the replaceable cutters. I have the Gerber 800, which does have the replaceable cutters, but I've heard they break. I've not had that issue, but many people seem to have that issue, so I just stuck with this, and they work good. They work good. So one of the things I want to mention as well that Gerber has an advantage is definitely this one-handed opening. It's going to be hard to sort of do this on camera, but you can definitely open and close this. And I had a lot of things in my hand, and I was able to use this sort of get access to it, and it's pretty nice to have that one-handed capability to be able to open that up and use that right away. You do have your inches as well, so you have your ruler, and I guess that's your metric on that side as well. So these are a really nice set of tool set here, this multi-tool, locking implements. I believe the Gerber 800 or 600 rather, carves out a really nice niche. This is around your $50 price point. So this definitely, in my opinion, is better than the Leatherman Wingman or Sidekick for what I use it for. So some people would use those for everyday carry. That's not something I would use these for everyday carry at work. So for me, these actually do a lot more for work than those tools. So the price point, I think they do a really good job, something definitely to consider, and I think you should definitely give them a look and see what you think. All right, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.